The stereotypes surrounding marijuana, including the word marijuana, has a negative connotation for a reason. It was really intended to be that way in the first place. If you look at a little bit of history, you'll see the years 1936, 1937, where a guy decided that making paper out of trees was highly profitable for him and might force other people that made paper out of hemp out of business. So there was a vote, that's the way it went. Marijuana was illegalized, it was demonized through the media and the movies that he made with his money to justify his paper factory. And well, anyway, stepping forward, without getting into a lot of history, I really don't want to call it marijuana. In fact, sometimes I really don't like to call it pot or weed. To me, it's cannabis, and it's a flower. It's a flowering herb, a flowering medicinal herb, and it is having a wonderful impact on so many people that their names, I mean, too many of them to mention. But anyway, even though certain things about marijuana, cannabis, have a negative connotation because of the media and because of some people who have mixed it with other substances and had bad experiences that made the news, you know, it's pretty common for people to consume alcohol, whether they're smoking marijuana or not, or using marijuana, eating marijuana, drinking marijuana tea. Some people just need to have that alcohol or some other substance to give them that extra boost, and that's where marijuana has gotten a negative reputation, not because of what it does all by itself when no other substances are involved. But anyway, I digress. This would be the kind of typical thing. And in fact, if we go all the way back to the 70s, like late 70s, when I first tried cannabis, the smoking apparatus was just more like this, and pretty basic. Had a little lid and just put a little in there like it were tobacco, and you light it, and there you have it. You catch a buzz. Maybe go back to class if you're naughty or something. But anyway, modern times, if I were to smoke raw flower, you know, the herb, I'd go with this or this, just because, you know, they're pretty simple to use at home and they're effective. However, they're a little too effective. I'm not as young as I used to be, so being able to control my dosage, particularly to tame it down so that I don't overconsume or so I don't consume more than I really need is kind of a concern. I only really want what I need, and figuring that out is kind of a process, depending on what thing ails you, whether it's anxiety, you know, glaucoma, Crohn's disease, PTSD, whatever it is. But anyway, for medical patients, the modern alternatives that are available now are extremely promising, and they're discreet for people who have to medicate so many times throughout the day, spontaneously or randomly because of their condition. Luckily, I don't have to consume much to keep my condition, you know, in tow, so and under control. So anyway, this is a vaporizer pen, and it contains the cannabis oil already in it. Now, all of these are different. Some you press a button to heat it up before, you know, sucking on the vapor, and that is the key, that it's a vapor, it's not smoke. Quite a big difference. It's almost odorless, and because of the smaller molecules of vapor, it gets deeper into your lungs. You don't need as much to medicate, and you don't get the really strong buzz unless you just vaporize all day long, you know, 10 puffs in a row. You could do that, but I don't need to do that. Anyway, so this is what some people have been wondering about. I'm using this piece of paper because now this one activates not by pressing a button, but when you draw on it with suction, just like if you were smoking a cigar. And when it's activated, little lights come on, tiny little LEDs, and I didn't know if the camera would be able to see those, So I'm using this piece of paper to reflect the light so you can see it better. Just like so. So the same kind of puff, the person that would take a pipe or a bong or whatever, hookah, and smoke a little herb, they're going to be, exhaling a lot of smoke. With this, you get a very good dose, very little vapor, very little odor. In fact, it's not a bad odor. It's not weedy like people are accustomed to that weed smell. So anyway, this is one of the options for medicating with cannabis in 2015 and beyond. Thank you.